in early September of 1985, I was down for a speaking engagement, and it was on that trip that I got to spend some time with a businessman here named Jimmy Hewitt and a pastor at First Presbyterian named John Tolson. And it was on that trip when they took me back to the airport after that speaking engagement that I just lobbed out a question. The question was, would pro basketball ever go in Florida, and where would you put the team, Miami or Tampa? And at which point both of them almost drove the car off the highway. They said, you'd put him at neither spot. You'd put it right here in Orlando. This is the future of Florida, right here. Well, for many years, 7 years at least, our HR people have been pushing to get those full days of physical examination for the Magic executives out at Celebration. We finally got it approved, and in January of 2011, the first executive on the checklist was me, so out I go. And then at the end, the doctor in charge, Dr. Edwards, Christine Edwards, called me in and said, let's just review what's happened here all day. And she went down the checklist and she said, there's something in your blood work that needs further checking. And at that time, I was introduced for the first time to the name of Robert Reynolds, Dr. Robert Reynolds. He introduced me to a word. He said, you've got an illness, and the illness is called multiple myeloma. I said, I have never heard that. I mean, what does that mean? He said, it's cancer. He said, it's not curable, but it's treatable. He said, we're going to start chemotherapy, and he outlined the whole deal. And then he made a very key point to me. He said, get on with your life. He said, the best advice I can give you is get on with your life. I said, well, what's the goal here? He said, well, we want to get it into remission. And I said, well, what are the odds of that? He said, well, they're pretty good, so that's what we're trying to accomplish here. And then I thought, remission. I said, Doc, so the mission then is remission. He said, yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. We have a big family. We have 19 children and 8 grandchildren. And by the way, 14 of those children are adopted, lest you think I'm a total madman. But the question was, when and how do we tell the children? Then the other issue was, what about the Magic family? What do I do with all that? And then the next question was, if this story starts leaking out, what do we do with the media? So Dr. Reynolds said, let me make it very easy for you. Your children must know from your lips. And he said, go to your Magic people, the owners, just tell them exactly what's going on. And he said, my counsel is to gather the media and tell your story. You walk into Florida Hospital and you see the Lord in paintings on the wall, and it's just the atmosphere. The most impressive thing to me, the nursing staff, so gracious, so kind. I got very comfortable with them and enjoyed them, and you can tell they care deeply, and in many cases their faith is what fuels them. They feel that they have a ministry there. I've been writing and speaking for years about to people taking a stand for the Lord and living your life victoriously, and the excitement and the adventure of the Christian life, but now I got to flesh it out. I mean, now I've been hit here with real reality, and so what I've been talking and writing about, people are watching me. I know that, and if I buckle now and panic, in the middle of the storm, then I think people question, that whole faith thing, your walk with the Lord, it's not all that important, or it didn't really hold. So I know people are watching, and I want to be a good testimony here, a good witness.